whenever I get into that block, it was just facing my fear and overcoming that, because nothing really athletics related scares me anymore like that does. So that's how I know I love it. My name's Smith Wheeler. I'm a senior, and I've lettered in track for 4 years. So I actually started track and field when I was in 8th grade. I run the 400 meter dash, the 200 meter dash, and then both of those relays, the 4x200 and the 4x4. My favorite thing about track in general is just how self-oriented it is, but at the same time the team effort that goes into everything. The training for it I love more than anything, because it's taught me more mental toughness and physical toughness than anything else out there. My greatest achievement and my favorite all-time memory was my sophomore year. We actually qualified for state in the 4x4, and we broke the school record, and we ran I think 3:21 and got 4th at state. And for me, that was probably the happiest moment, because not only was it a great feeling, but also it was a really satisfying way to send off those seniors. That was something that made me realize, man, I really enjoy track. I can see myself doing this the next 4 years after high school. Growing up, I played football, basketball, and I ran track, but I always loved running, no matter what it was. I was always wanting to play tag. I actually grew up at the lake. That's probably where I got a lot of my endurance from, always swimming all the time. And I love wakeboarding. At the end of junior year, I was sitting in math class, and Coach Perry came, pulled me out, and he was like, dude, you need to play some football. I really think you should give it a shot. And so I started going and working out in the summer, and football was a really good thing for me. It was definitely the timing of God, because track got canceled junior year, and that really messed me up with recruiting and colleges and stuff like that. And so football was a good distraction for that, for missing track. A lot of confidence and a lot of motivation was just sucked out of me whenever COVID took away junior season. Having this season, it really did teach me to overcome adversity, and it just taught me that no matter what, there will be roadblocks in the way. I mean, like there was for me at state, even there was a pretty tough roadblock, losing a race, not being able to compete in a race. But you just got to keep telling yourself, you got to work harder, you got to overcome that, and eventually you'll get exactly what you want out of it if you put in the right amount of work. The season for me, it did not end the way I wanted to. That's something that I think, I've realized what the problem was. I realized why I wasn't posting those times that I should have been around state, and I think my times will start dropping within the next few months, because I've learned so much over the 4 years on what to do to my body and how to protect it from injury. I have only had 1 year in all 4 years of high school at state where it's been normal, and that was my freshman year. That was freshman year. I was up at Jeff City, and it was class 3, 4, and 5. 2019, there was a big tornado in Jefferson City, and so they split class 3, 4, and 5 up to different schools. State this year in Jefferson City was one of the more defining meets, I'd say, in my career, because the weather and everything. They just made that schedule rolling, and so my 200 was going to go, and then my 400 was right after. They were just going to be back to back. And so I called Coach Rumley, and he didn't want to make the decision for me on which one I should do, whether I choose to run the 200 or the 4x4 relay that we've got here all together. It's not just me, it was all 3 of them. And so I chose the team, the 4x4, and didn't run the 200. That was something that was hard for me, because like I said, the 200 is something I was excited to, first time ever qualifying for state in that, and not being able to run it, I think really, it's not going to be something I regret, because I know I made the right decision choosing the team, because at the end of the day, they were more important, and there's no way I was going to let down those freshmen and sophomore and Kendrick. So overall this season, I've learned a lot on the football field as well as the track, and I didn't have the best results that I would have liked to coming out at the end of the season. So it's just taught me that there's still so much work to be done, and still so much for me to learn. Next year, I'll be running track at Wichita State University and majoring in exercise science and physical therapy. What I'll miss most overall is probably just being able to go to practice every day with those guys at track. I'm all such good friends with all of them. Everybody had their own little place on the team. We were all just a family. And so leaving that, it's going to be tough. It'll be something I never forget, though. I really loved the high school because I had some of the greatest teachers ever, some of the greatest mentors, coaches.